I love Paige to death. Do not get me wrong. I think, I think she's a hell of a player and, would love to play with her one day. But those refs were giving her every freaking whistle last night. You literally couldn't touch her. And that shit is so annoying to me. And if you're going to do that, then give it to our guard.
The WNBA is in damage control mode after Sophie Cunningham refused to bite her tongue. Her fiery words have shaken the league, sparking outrage, heated debates, and now a staggering fine clearly meant to silence her. Was this a bold stand for fairness or, in the league's eyes, a step too far? Fans are divided, players are buzzing in locker rooms, and the tension is spreading fast. What's clear is this goes far beyond basketball. This is the high-voltage drama behind the fine that has everyone talking. So, will the WNBA finally face its leadership issues, clean up the officiating chaos, and start protecting stars like Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's break it down.
I just hate the inconsistency.
When whistles are player-focused, that's I think that's a huge problem.
Well, she's gonna be one of those players that she's already gonna be a GOAT. She's gonna be a Hall of Famer. Everyone knows that she's freaking hell of a player, but getting some of those whistles already, oh my, I couldn't.
This season, Sophie Cunningham has found herself at the heart of one of the WNBA's fiercest player versus lead battles. 4 fines. 4. That's not a warning. That's a statement from the league to a rising star they clearly view as a thorn in their side. It all started when Sophie, frustrated by a game derailed by questionable officiating, dropped a blunt TikTok calling the referees useless. That 30-second clip came with a $500 price tag, leaving fans and players shocked at how quickly and harshly the league came down on her.
Cunningham posted the video 6 days ago, which shows her lip-syncing lyrics from Sabrina Carpenter's song Man-Child. The caption to the video is, "At some refs."
Stupid. Or is it slow? Maybe it's useless.
Yesterday, Cunningham reposted the video on X with a caption about the fine.
But Sophie didn't back down. She doubled down on her own podcast. Not only did she stand firm on her comments, she broadened the conversation, voicing the league-wide frustration players have with inconsistent and biased officiating. That fearless move earned her another fine, this time $1,500. Her running total climbed to $2,000, sending a clear signal the WNBA wanted her silence. Instead, it lit a fire. The fines didn't shut her up. They ignited a storm that has the entire basketball world buzzing.
7-0 Indiana run. They're within 2 and a foul. This time, Peckers does get the call.
I thought this might have been an offensive foul. Howard for the finish.
Indiana's considering challenging this call, but they will not, as Peckers gets free.
The backlash was immediate. Social media lit up with hashtags rallying behind Sophie, while fans blasted the league for its glaring double standard. Within hours, GoFundMe campaigns wiped out her fines, and petitions demanding referee accountability pulled in thousands of signatures almost overnight. The outrage was loud, sharp, and unified. Why punish a player for saying what everyone sees? Why protect a broken officiating system while silencing the one calling it out? But this story goes deeper than fines and frustration. It's a tipping point. The rift between players and referees, the growing questions of fairness, and the demand for transparency are all reaching a breaking point. With support for Sophie only gaining momentum, the WNBA now faces a challenge that could reshape its future. The fallout from her stand is just beginning. The real question is whether this courage sparks reform or triggers a backlash the league can't control.
You could overturn it to an offensive foul. You could also maintain that it's a foul but take away the continuation. All of those things could happen here on this call.
The interesting thing is, when you get to this point of the play, it is a foul on Boston. But it's because her arm was clamped earlier in the play.
I mean, look at that.
What can she do there?
She literally can do nothing. I don't know how that's not overturned to an offensive foul.
I agree with you.
That looks about as clear as it gets. And you saw how quickly Stephanie White challenged that.
The contrast between the WNBA and other major leagues is striking. In the NBA, outspoken voices aren't silenced, they are spotlighted. Players like Draymond Green and legends like Charles Barkley have built entire reputations on speaking bluntly, pointing out flaws, and doing it without a filter. Barkley, in fact, turned that candor into his brand, and fans embrace him for it. In the NBA, honesty isn't just allowed. It's part of the culture, even celebrated.
Paige Beckers putting her hands on Sophie to shove her up. You see Sophie's hand in the air. Both hands are in the air right here. And Paige Beckers is shoving. She is shoving her clean off. Boom. Pushed her right into Howard. Pushed her into Howard. Now she's wide open and waiting for a pass like she just didn't do anything. Like she just didn't do anything. Wide open down here. Look at it. And then all of a sudden you get the whistle. And look at the ref. You see the ref? You see the ref right here. Calling the foul. And guess who the foul was on? Sophie Cunningham.
Sophie didn't dance around it. She was direct, and she was right. Refereeing is tough, no doubt. But when obvious calls are missed again and again right in front of everyone, the question becomes simple. What are you even doing out there? That question doesn't just hang over one game. It hovers over the entire league. And when NBA officiating starts to look polished by comparison, the WNBA's flaws become impossible to ignore. Fans and players are left wondering the same thing. How long can a league thrive when the loudest voices calling for fairness get fines instead of fixes?
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying that your job is easy, but when it is a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing? What are you doing?
What call are you, like, bugged out?
All of them.
Most, everything?
Like, it's just like they're just so inconsistent. Like, that's my thing. Like, if you're on the other team and you're going to be fouling the shit out of me,
yeah,
cool. But let me do it to you.
Yeah. You know what
I mean?
Want
like
consistency then.
Yeah, like just give. And I think that's players across the league and like new fans across the country. Like everyone's like, what is going on with the refs? And I'm like, I don't know. And you finding me $500 is not going to do shit.
Anyone who's ever left a WNBA game with an uneasy feeling that something wasn't right knows exactly what Sophie means. This isn't about one rough night. It's about a pattern of inconsistency that can't be ignored anymore. That pattern shapes how teams adjust, fuels fan frustration, and leaves players venting openly afterward. And the league's response? Slap the truth tellers with fines. Sure, $500 might not sound huge, but it's not about the dollar figure. It's about the message. And that message only amplified Sophie's fight. Her podcast, *Dissecting the Fines, * flipped the spotlight right back onto the officiating mess, forcing the debate further into public eye and making it impossible for the league to brush aside.
There's like a good handful that it's like, all right, dude. And there's a couple girls in
Dumb question. If someone were to say someone called men's basketball their whole life and then went over to women's, would they be expected to call the game differently? Just given the style and physicality and stuff like that?
The real question now is how long the WNBA can keep punishing those pushing for change before the cracks widen into a collapse. Sophie's stand didn't just shine a light on one bad officiating crew. It exposed a league wrestling with its own credibility. And if silencing her is only the beginning, how far is the league willing to go to protect its image before the foundations start to crumble? Look at the NBA, and the contrast is night and day. Replay centers, public reports, open debates, and players free to call out refs without instantly bracing for a fine. That honesty builds trust, even when mistakes happen. The WNBA has chosen the opposite approach, punishing critics instead of fixing problems. Hitting Sophie with $500, then $1,500 hasn't quieted the noise, it's fueled it. Petitions, hashtags, and endless online debate prove this isn't a passing controversy. It's a full-on revolt against a league that seems to want silence more than fairness.
Now, the refs, and I'm not saying they're emotional, the men and women, it doesn't matter the gender.
Yeah.
On our side, they are too emotionally invested and they can't take it. And I'm like,
is it new to the WNBA that you guys are maybe talking more shit back to refs, or has that been a thing forever?
Oh, it's always been a thing.
The WNBA's uneven enforcement has left both players and fans questioning where the league's priorities truly lie. Sophie gets fined for a measured podcast comment, while Caitlin Clark absorbs hit after hit on the court with zero protection. And across 2 seasons, not a single fine has been handed down for those blatant fouls. The disconnect couldn't be more glaring, making it feel like the league is more focused on controlling its image and protecting the stars fueling its growth. Yes, Defenders will say every league fined players for criticizing refs. But here's a difference. In other leagues, officiating is competent enough that players don't need to complain every week. In the NBA, for example, criticism pops up occasionally, but the overall standard is far higher, so the conversation is about improvement, not survival. When another league's officiating looks flawless by comparison, that's a flashing red warning that your system is broken, and fixing it should come before silencing those who point it out. And let's be clear, Sophie's words weren't some emotional rant. She didn't insult anyone, didn't question character, didn't attack personally. She simply said what thousands of fans were already thinking. The refs aren't doing their job well. That's it. Yet instead of responding with, asterisk, we hear you, we'll improve, asterisk, the WNBA slapped her with fines, essentially saying, asterisk, we care more about appearances and reality. Asterisk, that's not growth mode, that's defensive mode. Worse, the league's attempt to quiet her has backfired. By fining Sophie, they've amplified her voice. Her podcast viewership is climbing, with fans eager to hear the dangerous comments the league tried to suppress. The irony? This kind of honesty is exactly what could make the league stronger if it embraced it. Athletes should be encouraged to speak openly, because that dialogue leads to solutions. Punishing truth-tellers doesn't erase problems. It just buries them until they explode. In a well-run sport, players don't need to go public with officiating complaints. But when refereeing is this inconsistent, no fine or intimidation tactic will stop the truth from spreading. Sophie Cunningham's punishment is just a symptom of a deeper leadership problem, one that prioritizes optics over players. Until that changes, controversies like this will keep resurfacing. So the real question is, will the WNBA admit it has a leadership crisis, fix the officiating mess, and protect stars like Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham? Or will Kathy Engelbert and the league double down on silencing its best ambassadors, even if it means losing the trust of both players and fans? Drop your thought below, because this fight isn't just Sophie's, it's about the future of the league itself. Don't forget to subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss an update.